Start recording. Hey, how's it going? Can you see my face?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Well, I had a kind of bummer of a pain doctor appointment today. It's not that great, but this could be some nice escapism. So
Yeah, hell
yeah.
yeah. Let's get right into it. I'm just gonna open this thing up. Yeah, so can you hear the music? Oh wait, hold on. I got a screen share, sorry.
I can't hear the music actually.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah, see, I've always felt like the radio is pretty good but limited, and the real magic is, oh damn, it's kind of yeah, the radio is good, but the real magic is like that ambient music when you're walking around.
Yeah. I downloaded the entire soundtrack and once we tested this out, I was going to see what we could do or what I could do in terms of like audio manipulation or even kind of going through sort of like fourth world sound of like weird loops and anyway, but there's a lot of great stuff just in the soundtrack. I like some of the random transmissions that you come across, but the soundtrack
Yeah,
itself.
I agree. In fact, I was thinking like as a framing device that could be good for the episode, like having a little crackle and being like here's the transmission, and then just getting into the podcast or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna just for this one, I'm gonna put the master volume down a little lower, just so it doesn't totally overpower either of our voices, but just so maybe we can do more.
I would turn the music up a little bit. It wasn't that.
Okay.
Music
Cool.
is separate from master, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm getting very good vicarious feeling from just looking at the opening screen.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm glad. Yeah, anytime you want to do this. I've basically played through the entire game, but for a couple of just for the Battle of the Hoover Dam and then a few of the DLC side quests.
Yeah.
So I just have like basically everything unlocked, every location unlocked. So it's the world is our oyster here.
The only unfortunate thing about that is I feel like out of all of the DLCs, my favorite is Honest Hearts, but Honest Hearts is one of the ones that doesn't, like, once you do the playthrough, it doesn't give you much to do.
Yeah, I don't think you can go
like
back.
Lonesome, you can go back, but
okay.
it's just there's nothing to do once you go back. Whereas Lonesome Road, if you go back, there's still like death claws and like tons of that one has a kind of dumb Lonesome Road I'm talking about has a kind of dumb plot, but it's kind of a really badass in terms of like how difficult it is and also the landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like how you can detonate the nuclear warheads.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just like somewhere like west of Vegas right now. Is there anywhere you want to go?
Like, by the way, is that like lagging because of is that lagging on your end or is that just the screen sharing lagging?
It might be the screen sharing.
Okay, that's good. That's fine by me, honestly.
Okay, cool.
I was just making sure it's not like actually but yeah, I see the what is it? The Lucky 38? The circular one. Damn. This brings me back.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the real life one in Vegas that's based on? I bet the Stratocaster. It's like it's on the
Oh,
old strip in actual Vegas.
gotcha.
I've been there. Yeah, it's on the old strip, and it's honestly a kind of janky hotel. I stayed there once.
Yeah.
They have a rooftop pool, and it looks like that. Basically, it's like kind of futuristic. It's like similar to like what is it in Seattle? Like the
Oh, the Space Needle.
yeah,
Yeah.
but in Vegas, and it's yeah,
Trying to get
damn,
some framings here.
yeah, that's nice.
Some compositional stuff going on.
It's just like something about the glow of New Vegas that is always really nice. Like if I'd known you could have walked there straight from Good Springs,
oh yeah.
I would have been so psyched. But I did follow the quest.
Uh
Um, yeah. Um, so yeah, like what kind of weapons do you got on you?
got quite a bit. I'm actually just low on ammo for several of them, but yeah, I got
Oh yeah, you have a lot.
I basically, like I said, played through everything. Um I don't even
What's
know.
this?
Yeah.
You have one thing I haven't used, which is the sonic emitter. Oh wait, oh you have a riot shotgun. Good
Yeah.
taste. If you get the riot shotgun with some of the rounds that they sell at the gun runners arsenal, like some of the explosive rounds or whatever, or slugs,
Mhm.
it's like one of the most effective mid-range weapons. And you can like
Word.
if you get this perk where you can knock back enemies,
Oh yeah, I
it's
have
one of
that
the only
one.
ways I found to kill Deathclaws is a riot shotgun with good
Yeah.
ammo.
Yeah. So I don't know if you played whichever DLC it is, Old World Blues.
That's not one of the. That's the only one I didn't play.
Okay, it's actually
Just because
really
it seemed a little bit like Rick and Morty ish.
it really is. It's really kind of an annoying one, and it's like surprisingly difficult because there are these robo scorpion things that just swarm you and have really high damage resistance, and so you basically can't beat it without having the knockback perk, just to give yourself some like breathing room. But yeah, I think out of all of them, I liked Honest Hearts probably the best as well. It took me a while to warm up to Dead Money, but once I did, I thought that one was sort of interesting. Uh,
Oh, for sure. That one has a very like noir vibe. Like
yeah,
it kind of seems like um like it could be a noir movie with some like heist and like in some like ghost town. But I'm terrible with melee, so it was really hard. But then I did finish it,
yeah,
and then there's some glitch that like wouldn't let me leave with the money at the end, and I like it was one of the honestly it was like um so frustrating. I don't know, my cracked version just had like a glitch like that.
no, I think that's built in. I think it's supposed to be a kind of moralistic thing where the money weighs like an excessive amount, so you can only take like one or maybe two gold bars without dropping all of your equipment.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I guess I mean I was like using an exploit that's supposed to work and then it just
uh,
like the game shut down or something and
I
I couldn't
see.
even get out without the money.
Gotcha. Oh, that
But
sucks.
I think I recall that, but that's yeah. Okay, yeah. Where to go? Where to go? West.
Go west.
Yeah, because if you go west of the city, you should get near either Red Rock Canyon or Mount Charleston, and those are fun places. Is that your rocket launcher?
No, this is the hollow rifle from Dead Money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a weird weapon.
I think it's probably one of the better weapons in the game if you have a high energy weapon stat. I think I'm maxed out level wise now, and so all of my stats are really high. Which honestly is like, it's at this point in the game where it's not particularly fun anymore combat wise because everything is really easy. Um, and this is what I found I like to do at like late stages in video games, and is maybe something to dwell on generally, is just like uh, my desire shifts away from actually completing the quests, and less so with this game, but especially with like GTA. I just want to kill myself in increasingly violent and spectacular ways. Like with GTA, it's often like suicide by cop, where it's
yeah, for sure.
I just know I'm eventually going to be hit with like multiple SWAT teams and overrun, but it becomes both a game of obviously just getting some pleasure out of killing cops, but also uh just seeing how long I can last like in like a sort of like death drive state.
Yeah.
These things
I just asked because that has a similar like display to the rocket launcher thing you get in Lonesome Road.
Oh yeah, I think I dropped that one. It's called like Rocket's Red Glare or something like that.
Yeah, you gotta find a place to like hoard things.
Yeah, I may have just sold it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to use my room at the whatever casino. But yeah.
Man, this is great. I love this. These billboards are so good. It's such a cohesive aesthetic design throughout this whole game that's like pretty unmatched in a lot of other games. Wow, what the hell?
Is there some kind of battle around?
Yeah, it's just the Caesar's Legion just tries to assassinate me like pretty frequently now. I think I may have actually killed Caesar in this save. I can't remember.
The only way I could do it was with like I did some good plays in my first playthrough, but when it came to Caesar, I kind of copped out and did a really like easy one of just like using the mini nuke.
Oh, I don't think I ever used any of the mini nukes.
Oh, really? Those are fun.
What do you?
There are probably better uses for them than using it inside his tent.
Yeah.
Because like the whatever you call the Praetorian Guard or whatever are so quick and aggro with like melee, and that's always been my weakest. I was also playing without a mouse.
Yeah.
So it's kind of awkward on a laptop.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult without a mouse for sure.
But yeah, and I also had this thing where, and this happened with the Battle of Hoover Dam, with enough like overload, the game would just start glitching out and shutting down.
Yeah.
Like it's an old enough game that I could play it pretty decently, even including combat stuff most of the time. But if I got like a battle that big, it would sometimes start like just glitching out or shutting down, which is a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, it does glitch out a lot. Like I don't know what just happened now. Like it just like I don't know if I died while I was in like a VATS like cinematic screen or something.
Right.
But let's just go to Red Rock Canyon. Because I don't have too much time, but I just definitely wanted to cruise around the game, and we can just sort of brainstorm like here. I want to sort of wait until the AM just to get that light.
Yeah.
Because like these locations in the game with the light mechanics are really nice.
Yeah, Red Rock Canyon is a place I've been a lot.
Yeah.
Probably as much IRL, like as many days or hours IRL as in the game. But I
Yeah.
remember liking that part of the terrain a lot.
Yeah.
Almost being disappointed like you couldn't go further in
Yeah.
to the canyon. Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
like
I've actually been here.
a little bit like the Zion landscape, but you
Yeah.
mean you haven't been there in game or you haven't been there
Oh,
IRL?
in real life, yeah.
Oh
Maybe I
yeah.
have.
Have you hung out much in the Vegas area?
No, not really. I think I remember just one road trip with my family where we stayed in Reno as a kid, and I just remember going into the hotel and people are like, there's like a casino and people are smoking in the hotel and being really taken aback uh, by that fact.
Oh
But I don't
yeah.
think we were going to Vegas, or I don't think no, I remember driving through Vegas but not stopping. Like we like went through
Yeah.
the strip and I was really confused because I thought Vegas was going to be like this huge like metropolitan area, but it's really this sort of like sprawl type thing as I remember, and the strip is actually just this really small portion of it.
Yeah. I mean, it is a bit of sprawl, but I always think of it as like contained sprawl. It's not like Los Angeles. It's very like there's a grid and it's sprawl in that it's like exurban or suburban, but it doesn't go that far out of the city limits. It's just kind of like there's the city limits and then there's Red Rock Canyon.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, to
I
the
see.
west. So like west of Summerlin, which is like the western suburb, which I guess in the game would be something like West Side or something.
Yeah.
Um uh or like the what is it? The like ruins where the
Oh yeah.
not the cons.
There's
What
the
are the drug
fiends.
gangs? Yeah, hangout. What
Yeah.
are those called?
I think it is called like Old Vegas Ruins or something like that. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
that's kind of the location where Summerlin would be in real life, which
uh,
is a more upscale suburb. I imagine that's where Adam Friedland and Dasha are from. And
South Vegas Ruins.
yeah, well, Summerlin extends to like it's like west, but like kind of south of center, and then there's like I don't know, like uh Green Spring. I could be getting this wrong.
Yeah.
I mostly just know Summerlin.
Is
And
Bitter
then
Springs a real place?
is Bitter Springs a real place?
I'm just going like this is east of Las Vegas. There's Nellis.
Well, Nellis is obviously a real place.
Yeah.
And then uh I don't know about Bitter Springs. The ones I know for sure are Mount Charleston, Red Rock Canyon, oh, Spring Mountain Ranch State Park.
Let's
I
go there.
literally the Spring Mountains are literally like the range that Mount Charleston is in, but they have a lot of foothills, so there's like high desert areas. Yeah, this is like so it's like very near Red Rock Canyon.
Hmm.
And I do remember those little critters because there's a group of fiends, but you probably cleared them out
Yeah.
in this area
Yeah, I think I
initially.
did. I've cleared out most. Oh my god. I kind of am regretting getting the perk where your enemies just explode like that. Because it just happens at such a high frequency and it like totally disrupts the flow of the game just to watch this like gory mess. But I also kind of love because my computer it's not new, but it's fairly high end in terms of its graphics card. Like it is a gaming computer, but from it was like high end like 3 years ago. And New Vegas is like
Nice.
from what, like 2014? I want to say.
Way earlier, I
Oh,
think.
way earlier.
Maybe not way earlier, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But I'm thinking like, no, because people had New California Republic NCR flags when I was in high school
Oh,
at
wow.
Idlewild,
Okay.
and that was
So it must have been like
um
2010 through.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
2010 through 2012 or something. So I think might have been 2009, 2010.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
2009
maybe it
sounds
was
right.
new at the time, but yeah, it's it's amazing. I mean, I've heard that Fallout 3 is pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, and I've heard that Fallout 4 is amazing graphics, but like just boring sandbox kind of game that isn't like as I've heard they really kind of peaked with New Vegas in terms of like the imaginative world building.
Yeah, the world building is a lot more literal in 4, where you have this mechanic of like building settlements that have to be like that have needs that need to be attended to, like in terms of resources, and you have to
Yeah.
collect just like lots of raw materials. And it's set in Boston, so I mean, I was playing it with Lauren, and we were I mean, for her it was really interesting because
Oh,
as much
Cazadors.
I hate these things.
Nasty buggers.
Yeah.
They're the nastiest. You know,
Yeah.
the funny thing is, they're totally like nasty yellow jackets on Mount Charleston and the Spring Mountains area in general. So I could totally see the Cazadors thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. I hate them. Even at this point in the game, I still die all the time just running into a group of them like this.
Yeah, you really either need like one of the energy weapons that has a like broad scatter or whatever, like the shotgun equivalent of an energy weapon, or a
Yeah.
shotgun for them.
Oh my god. Um, yeah, but I mean, is what was interesting about Fallout 4 was that as accurate in some ways as uh, New Vegas is to. Oh my god. See, now I'm just gonna get killed by these guys. Yeah. Anyway, just Lauren was able to recognize like the Boston Public Library in Fallout 4, like the entrance was accurate to like how it actually is today,
Yeah.
and certain stops on the T and stuff like that, which is like definitely a nice quality of these games, is the post-apocalyptic like sort of time capsule element of it, that
Yeah.
like you can get the contemporary resonance, but of course everything is sort of fucked up or
Yeah.
perverted in some way. Um, the
Yeah, I like I was gonna say like one of the places of that quote unquote mold avoidance or gone for good air is Monongahela National Forest in West Virginia. And that's like a actually like a big part of Fallout 76.
Okay.
The like new online one. And like I don't know, it doesn't look like it again, it looks like it doesn't have the level of world building as New Vegas, and is kind of more like 4 where it's like pretty graphics, and then but it's like an online game, but less imaginative maybe, but I mean they always pick some nice settings. That
Yeah.
is a nice area, the like West Virginia mountains.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was looking at the notes in that Google Doc. And there's a lot of stuff we could get into, just not in depth right now. Um, but I just did
I
want to note what's really interesting about this game is like the different factions you can align with. I was sort of trying to map them onto like left, right, authoritarian, libertarian kind of like political alignment chart. Um, which
yeah.
is it's like pretty easy for this one, but also not in some ways, because the NCR and the Caesar's Legions are so obviously like authoritarian right, and I guess authoritarian left, even though it's kind of just like the alternative to the fascist faction. But I think in this playthrough I ended up aligning with not with Mr. House, but with the other robot. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Yes Man.
Yes Man, which is just a very I was really taken aback when I first played through the game because you know, you go through the first part before reaching Vegas, and then once Mr. House and Yes Man are introduced, it really changes the whole scope of what your expectations are in terms of like what kind of like protagonist, what kind of options you have as a protagonist.
Right.
And I find the two kind of like techno utopian options to be a lot more interesting, even if they're not necessarily that significantly different when it comes to ending the game. Like you still have to, you know, do the battle at the Hoover Dam, and then once you finish that, the game just ends. You don't continue playing through.
Yeah.
Like for
Yeah.
instance, yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was just gonna say, I honestly feel like some of the like DLCs have like more interesting choices than like the final battle, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, totally. The Lonesome Road one was interesting. There's a lot that's like not available for you as an option unless you have really high uh like skills in certain like speech skills or um but if you do have like really high stats, like I think for some of the ending options for some of the DLCs you need like 90 plus in like multiple skills to be able to access one of the various endings, or
Oh
like
yeah, I
pseudo
remember
endings.
that. I think
Yeah.
I like waited pretty late until I played the Lonesome Road, so I think I convinced Ulysses or whatever to do the right thing,
Yeah.
whichever it was. Um, that's so funny. Yeah, Spring Mountains Ranch reminds me of Level Canyon. It's just this like place we used to camp that was like about exactly halfway between Vegas and Pahrump, which is a strange town
Yeah.
in Nye County with brothels. Vegas is Clark County uh near um Death Valley. And so it was like you go west of Vegas, you get to like Red Rock Canyon immediately, and then you go further west, you get to the Spring Mountains. Mount Charleston is technically in the Spring Mountains, but it's not connected by road.
Okay.
That part approach, like if you just drive west into like Red Rock Canyon and Level Canyon and Pahrump, you won't get to Mount Charleston. You have to drive like this separate road, like north and then west,
Okay.
to get to it. But
Sorry,
if
I can't. I'm having a bit of a hard time hearing you. If you could speak up a little
oh,
bit.
okay. Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, you have to drive this separate road. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna turn
Um,
down some of the effects volume just because the gunshots are so loud.
oh yeah. Well, it's okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out with the mic on the like, is this better?
Yeah, yeah, that was better.
Oh, okay, okay. There's the mic on the earbuds. Yeah. Um. So in that case, yeah, go as crazy as you want to. Yeah. So you can't. I imagine that since the roads don't really matter. In New Vegas, you can just go straight to Mount Charleston from um, Red Rock Canyon. Well, there's some places like high passes that won't let you pass or something.
Yeah, certain like topographies become like that kind of like, it's not gradual, it's just like a vertical plane with just an image texture projected on it rather than like the built out 3D model, and then you just kind of hit a wall, whether visible or not.
Yeah. I mean, I love New Vegas is honestly one of the like closest things in terms of like map territory, detail, in any game. And it's not supposed to be an exact copy, but it's like, well, honestly, the way I feel about like New Vegas and its geography, physiogeography, psychogeography, is that it does intentionally what the guy or empire in the Borges story does unintentionally. You know,
Yeah.
they set like he creates a map that covers the whole, or the empire create a map that covers the whole territory exactly. That
Yeah.
and then the empire falls and it tatters and frays and falls apart. But New Vegas is kind of like, if you just start off with that as the idea, the rune value of the map territory
Yeah.
distinction, because it's like there are other games that do mimic cities, like GTA is a kind of silly game if you think about the politics or missions, but it is like people love it because of the good map, like GTA 5, especially for LA. I mean, it's not LA, like it's not literal like New Vegas is. It's not
Yeah.
even LA in the future. It's just a city very much like LA, like
And it's,
Venice.
yeah, and it's on scale to a degree that's like pretty unprecedented in terms of, again, approaching what it would be like. One can imagine like virtually trying to recreate LA, like whatever the name of the city is in GTA 5. It's just such a large and like kind of infinitely renavigable map that it doesn't have to be LA to have the quality that LA has of being like, yeah, just the sprawling city environment, with
Yeah.
so many different like interlocking and rearrangeable routes. Um,
How am I forgetting
yeah.
the name? I mean, it's like I've played that game so much. Not quite as much as New Vegas, but
Yeah.
what even is the name of that? Anyway,
I should know better, but God, these things are so annoying.
it's
See, I
not
love.
San Andreas. It's the new one. It's yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it later.
Yeah. Where the fuck? I feel like I'm trying. This is like the most I've multitasked in such a long time. Like trying to like smoke and talk and play this game and like engage with these ideas while also not get killed by these stupid
Oh, the
gecko
gecko
things.
thing. You're just meleeing them. Yeah.
There we go. Jeez, it's just gonna kill me. Oh well. Yeah, no, I was thinking about that definitely in terms of hauntology, and the Borges story is a great invocation of that because, like, in addition to being post-apocalyptic, it's also an alternate timeline where, like, kind of nuclear age technology, like, became hyper advanced, but also ossified like modernity, or at least like American modernity, I guess is what you really get exposed to in the games. So
Right.
yeah, of course, everything is like really 50s. So you have both the throwback and the like future shock elements existing simultaneously.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like textbook archaeofuturism, and you have all of these cultural elements of like the 50s or 60s, but then you also have like plasma rifles and um and existing nuclear technology, although that's not even the most modern seeming part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the vaults. Yeah.
The vaults are really interesting, and from what I understand just from reading like the wikias, is that there's so much more backstory, and I don't know in what media it appears, that like goes into like the whole mythology of the vaults, and it seems like there's at least like text somewhere that explains like the stories of lots of different groups of survivors in the vaults, but very small amount of it is actually played in the game. There's just so much like text that you can actually read in game that I feel like so few people actually do, because it's so overwhelming to just read every single document or every single computer terminal.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I remember, though I did read some of the one in that vault where they're like all cannibals or whatever.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
the audio on your end, it's doing some kind of interesting stuff, but it's
there's the vault that they all cannibalized each other in.
Yeah.
And like left notes about it. Yeah.
There's a lot. Go ahead.
Something about the Southwest that like well, there's the whole bomb shelter thing and aesthetic, but I do think that like beyond that, especially if you go as far as the Four Corners area, which of course most of the game isn't in, except for Zion DLC. There's something about like all of that like stone and sand that makes people want to like tunnel, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. And as far as I know, you mentioned this too about like ideally wanting to have like a cliff dwelling DLC, like which Honest Hearts kind of is like, but not exactly. Well, like the Hopi or Anasazi, like actual sites that you can go to in real life. Very much a realization of that, but again, in like a different timeline entirely. That's just sort of fossilized. I think this is some Caesar's Legion guy. I was debating whether or not to shoot him.
Nice shot if you could get it from that.
Yeah, I find the shooting with the actual like munitions weapons a lot more satisfying than sniping with the energy weapons.
Yeah, I don't actually. Maybe this is betraying my ignorance of only playing through it a full one time and then like a couple half playthroughs, but I don't recall using scoped energy weapons. Are there scopes for energy weapons?
Yeah, I think the hollow rifle is one, and there's maybe one or two other ones. I think I have an anti-materiel rifle.
But that's not an energy weapon.
No.
That's like a 50 cal.
Yeah,
oh, nice shot. See, yeah, the thing to do if you feel too overpowered, I feel like, is to try some like either just like, I don't know, set limitations, try some stealth stuff, or only use like a certain weapon, or like go up against death claws or.
Yeah, I found one area of the game where there's just like a parade. It's like literally like a death march of death claws, as it were, where there's just like 15 or so like really large ones just kind of walking single file, and if you run into them, you're just totally fucked. And I think I saved and reloaded dozens of times before I actually managed to kill them all. But there's definitely lots of little Easter eggs like that in the game that just present a sort of random challenge.
Yeah, one of the fun things is you just like know that on my first playthrough, like I rushed it a little bit. Like, I still did some fun side quests and stuff, but I rushed it a little bit because I knew that it would never be enough. Like, and I needed to finish obsessing about it for a bit. Like,
yeah,
there's just like, I know that I didn't even uncover every location. I probably got 95% of them, but
yeah,
uncover every location, and then there's like lots more than just the locations. There's like strange stuff in caves, or like treasures or side quests.
yeah. There's a couple locations too that like get unlocked within the map in the DLC. I think in Lonesome Road, that are like the locations you can decide to nuke. But if you don't decide to nuke either of them, they're completely inaccessible. So it's like the only way to actually complete, there's probably some achievement where you visit every single marked location on the map, but the only way to achieve that achievement is to make the decision to nuke both the NCR and Caesar's Legion's like headquarters or like rear bases or something. So then it prevents this like conundrum of that.
Wait, speaking of well, no, this is more off topic, but just the geography. This is the Colorado River.
I think so.
So it's like the like near like the Arizona border or whatever, Arizona, California, Nevada border.
Yeah, this is so it's we're downriver from the Hoover Dam. There's the camp.
It is the Colorado River, yeah.
Yeah.
Give you an look that down.
Yeah, so this location here, let me go down there to like Dry Wells is one of the locations you can nuke, I think, and you can't actually. What the fuck? You can't actually get to it. You can just sort of swim around it. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I kind of missed that last thing.
The Lake Lurks, they have those sonic attacks or whatever.
Yeah. I do like the water rendering in this game a lot. It is water is always so hard in games like this. And I love the limb mechanics too. Like, I don't think I've seen that even in other Bethesda games. Like, I don't think they have that in like any of the Elder Scrolls series. But like the VATS mechanic is really interesting.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool combination. I mean, I remember telling you about the guy I had for, first of all, a New Vegas, or not New Vegas, a Fallout game set in the Four Corners.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's New Age stuff or actual indigenous lore, there's lots of ideas about apocalypse in that area.
Yeah.
And there's also all, bunker, like essentially bunker dwellings, etc. And then it would have some like magic or summoning or conjuration stuff or something like Death Stranding, which I haven't played, but I've heard about enough to think that something like that would be amazing in that area.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this is making me think that for future sessions of doing this, like focusing on one region within the game, but also like all of the outlying areas that are just sort of beyond the borders of what's playable would be a sort of interesting dichotomy to set up. Yeah. I love these weird like light current things.
Yeah.
It's just a really beautiful game despite having graphics that are just like several generations out of date by now.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I mean, to some of these places, and it's so surreal because, yeah, sure, like the graphics renderings aren't like anything close to a photograph, and yet the sense of place. I mean, you rarely play games that have a map that's that thorough. So, patience. Well, Red Rock Canyon was a little less surreal because it's like a nature environment. So it's like there's less of the like rune value or weirdness. But going to Good Springs was very strange because, I mean, they have, you know, done some tourist stuff, very minor, like based on the game, but for the most part, it's just like a real town where people live. Like,
Yeah.
there's more residential areas than in the game, although I mean that makes sense. And it really is just like a bunch of rolling hills and joshua trees. It was actually a really like kind of nice place to hang out.
Yeah.
Stopped in Nipton, which, I mean, the only thing really similar to the game was the desert with joshua trees, was the railroads.
Oh yeah.
Railroad tracks.
Yeah, the railroads are interesting. They're a bit more built out in Fallout 4, and it definitely like gives you the option of a kind of a derive or something that you can do just by following the disused railroads or like broken highway systems. Like that's kind of what I liked about Fallout 4 is like they have like it's like post. Actually, I'm not sure if it's like rendered as post Big Dig Boston or not. That's also been destroyed, but the highways are these really interesting locations to be on because there are whole like alternate systems of people organizing and living on the highways, and you can get really stuck on one particular like stretch of it that just sort of terminates, and then you just have to go all the way back, or occasionally there are lifts and ladders and stuff. But you can just spend hours sort of inefficiently navigating by way of that, as opposed to actually just walking on the ground or through the roads that are intended to be the way of getting from point A to point B. See, this is the final border of the map as far as I can tell. It's like beyond this is supposed to be dry wells or whatever, but you just really can't get around this fence.
Right, yeah. Which is like the Arizona border or whatever.
I guess, yeah.
Or wait, yeah. Isn't there a part on the other side of the river, like Cottonwood? Or am I wrong?
I think that's where I was for a second before I was killed by the lake lurks. Yeah, here's Cottonwood Cove. So I was just downriver from there. Yeah. Oh man, parts of this game are just so dark, like all the crucifixions.
Okay, oh yeah, here's some deep lores. Someone told me that there's either a mod or maybe not a mod, maybe it's just part of the game, where someone put Todd Howard, the designer of the game,
oh my god.
It's supposed to be in the like Cottonwood Cove area, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. I definitely cleared this area out multiple times because the Legion people would keep respawning, but now it doesn't really seem like they're around anymore.
I think one of my favorite parts of the game is the Brotherhood of Steel and the whole like Hidden Valley area.
Yeah.
Just love a little like kind of like protected from time by like these like harsh howling winds.
Yeah. Yeah, super interesting. Yeah, that whole faction is pretty interesting too, where they're like isolationist technophiles, as opposed to like expansionists or dominant technophiles. I don't know why this guy's body's still. Yeah, this is like a named character.
Or like as this technophobes or Luddites. It's an interesting. Yeah, I mean, I wonder what Linkola, Petty Linkola, or Kaczynski would think about Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, I love it when that happens. It just happened where there's the gradual light shift and then it just clicks one way or another like that. And now it's like kind of almost like pseudo, not infrared, but luminescent. The sky renderings are really nice as well too.
Yeah. I mean, it really does, with the exception of a few things, feel very quasi-light. Like if you go, I think that in the game, go to Mount Charleston, it's like obviously a lot of these routes are a little more condensed because like running across the game equivalent of like miles would be like too much even the most devoted fan, but
Yeah.
it's like from like high desert to like pine forest.
Yeah.
That is realistic.
Yeah.
And reminds me of Mount Charleston, because Mount Charleston, like if you go just Mount Charleston, even the parts where we camp, which is obviously lower than the peak, like I wasn't climbing like the peak or using the ski area, but even the parts where you camp at like 8,000 or something are like pretty dense pine forests, you know, a little bit drier, but still seems like it could be. It's like way more alpine. It could be somewhere in the Rockies,
Yeah.
and then but then you very quickly like drive down like another 1,000 feet, and it's like you start to have Joshua trees and twisted junipers.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, but what I'm talking about is kind of the zone.
Like in between.
Yeah, like, well, yeah, there's some realism here because they're pine trees, but I believe I saw kind of shaggy, twisted juniper, not just like pine, but yeah. But what I'm talking about, also the lodge is definitely modeled on a real lodge I've seen at Mount Charleston.
Interesting.
I haven't stayed there, but I'm talking about you go down and east a little bit, from you, it like Joshua Tree sort of quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a bit further down. Sorry, your audio is doing a lot of weird stuff, like getting weird feedback and cutting out.
Okay, how about now?
It's a little bit better. It's just like there's some weird kind of frequency thing. I can't really tell what it is.
But yeah, very lifelike. Like the little shrubs.
Yeah, yeah.
I would be willing to bet that route, the sign which they had.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 157, Route 157.
Yeah.
It's super interesting. I gotta go in just a second, but
No problem. This was fun.
yeah, man. Anytime really. So like I work Monday through Thursday, like basically, yeah, I work Monday through Thursday, but I have to go to bed at Sunday. On Sundays, like I try to go to bed at like 4 p.m. Typically doesn't happen, but I've been working like 10, 11 hour days, so I get pretty beat during the week. But weekends are usually pretty open. And then, yeah, also if you're feeling like spontaneously up for recording or just like want to do some playthrough or whatever around this time, yeah, like between 11 and 2 is usually pretty good for me on the weekdays. Word. Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Oops. I hope this worked. I only tested it with just my own audio, but it seemed to work just fine.
Well, it's a good test run.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about the visuals. I don't even feel like for a podcast we necessarily need visuals, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's kind of nice just to have as a reference point to look back on.
Yeah. I mean, we could maybe just do Twitch.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to figure out the infrastructure a little bit better. Like right now, I have my Zoom recorder as my audio interface just on like a stack of books, just like right next to my face here. But if I have a Yeti mic somewhere, that would probably be a lot easier.
I'm pretty sure we do some Twitch stuff with like kind of janky setups. I remember Herb streaming like just like it was like some like 2D game with like an elf or something, but also like picking background music, like DJ Lucas or something. Anyway,
Hell yeah.
I think I don't think Herb Saint has like a really fancy setup, so it could work.
Yeah. Weird. I'll look into it. But yeah, I gotta go. But it was good to talk to you. Good to hear the sound of your voice. Let's do this again soon. Just whenever you're up for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
All right.
All right, man. I hope you feel better. I hope you have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah. All right, man. Love you, Walker.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.